Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, for giving me the floor. Madam Speaker, according to the President's address last week, I have few issues to talk about concerning different ministries. First of all, I'll come to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, International Cooperation, and Gambians Abroad. Madam Speaker, we all know that the whole world is in trying moments since 9 months ago, since in January. We are facing so many difficulties, and Gambia is part of it. We all know that our government at this present stage cannot meet all its short-term plans because of the COVID-19. And it's not affecting only the Gambia, the whole world, as I said. But yet still, the government is doing some efforts. As I can see in the President's address, the government was trying to downsize the embassies that we have, the foreign missions, in all over the world, which is very important. But due to COVID-19, it is not able to happen. The government is really spending a lot of money in foreign missions, and I think that it was a very big mistake to establish many missions all over the world, or in many parts of the world. We can always strategize. Like, for example, in West Africa, we can have 2 missions, one in the Francophone, for the Francophone countries, 2 for the Anglophones. That, for example, an embassy can be in Ghana and will be responsible for Nigeria and the countries around that area, and another in Benin and the like, and it will be responsible for the countries around those areas. This will help, but if we want to open foreign missions everywhere, the Gambia will not have the capacity to fund those foreign embassies. After the elections in 2016, we all know that many embassies have been established. Maybe it was just because of political reasons, just to satisfy some people or to compensate some people. But we all know that it is not into our interest. So coming up with this initiative, it is very good. It is very good to do that, to close some embassies and to recall the diplomatic personnel to do staff monitor program. Because sometimes so many people are sent to these embassies, just as I said, just because to satisfy some people or to compensate people, which is not fair. Some of them are even overloaded. But doing this will help a lot. And then we have to put a mechanism to control it again, for it not to be overloaded again. Like, we should avoid whenever a person is removed from his or her position, like for example a ministerial position, and the president wants to compensate the guy again or to make the guy or the person happy and then send it to the foreign mission, then we'll be doing the same thing. We'll come to this point again. So I'm appealing to the government to avoid such things. Going to Interior, we have all seen the efforts that the Security Service have been doing during the pandemic. The immigration, the police, the fire service, you name them, they have been doing so many efforts to control the border, to make sure that everything is intact. But we have a problem. We have so many porous borders here that we all know that our officials cannot control to the level that we want them to do that. The main thing is that they don't have the requirement equipment or the materials to do that. Like, for example, immigration officers don't have enough vehicles, motorbikes. Police, the same thing, they don't have enough vehicles and motorbikes. So for them to do their job, it will be very difficult. It will be very difficult to patrol all the borders. And the porous borders give us so many problems. So the government should look into that to make sure that they are well equipped Doing this will always help us, because when we have these problems of emergencies, we can easily contain them. We can easily contain them. But if we don't prepare for this, when this type of problem comes, we always be in a problem. Before fixing it, it will go to a level that for us to control it will be very difficult. So I'm appealing to the government to make sure that all these security sectors are well equipped. It is very important. In interior, looking at prisons department, the initiative that the government is coming up with is very important. Trying to bring training programs, skill programs for the adult inmates, so that when they are out of prisons, they will be able to fit in the society, to have their professions, to be able to earn their livings. It is very important. But I'm appealing to the government, because so many people are complaining that, and some inmates who are in prison are complaining that the food is very poor. The quality of the food is very poor. So I'm appealing to the government to look into that, so that inmates will have the correct balanced diet, the food that they need, the quality food that they need for them to eat, to be healthy and to be very strong. I'm going to basic and secondary education. Honorable Speaker, we all know that since March, all schools have been closed, and children has lost a lot of learning hours, so many, and some even tend to forget what they've learned before, because the period they have been sitting at home, it's very long at the moment. They didn't do the third term, and we are coming into the next academic year, and I believe it will not start early too. So the government is trying to make a strategy here for the schools to recover their learning hours, but it will be very difficult. It will be very, very difficult. So I'm suggesting that school days shouldn't be only from Monday to Friday. It can be from Monday to Saturday. Secondly, we should avoid these midterms. Every term, 3 days midterms and the like. It's just a waste of time. It's just a waste of time. And coming to the next academic year, exams should be taken, let's say, at the tail end of the term. It shouldn't be early. Otherwise, kids will finish their exams, and then there will be maybe 1 or 2 weeks that they will sit at home, or they will not be doing anything at school. So it will be very difficult for them to cover up the syllabus that they lost and the syllabus of this upcoming academic year. And I think it is important to at least, but it might affect the afternoon shift. But otherwise, the learning hours should have an increase from 8 a.m. to 3 a.m. But that suggestion, I think it will not work, because we have so many schools, so many kids that are going for afternoon shifts. Honorable Speaker, health. The health sector have been doing a tremendous job, and still they are doing it concerning the COVID-19. But yes, still they are finding it so difficult for them to do exactly what they are expected from them, because, as I said, the health ministry was not well equipped. When this pandemic came, it was very difficult for them to contain it. At the initial stage, we didn't have so many cases. It was a bit easy for them, but for the past 2 months, we've experienced that we have so many cases. We end up trying to find new places for COVID-19 centers, medical centers and the like. But as I said, we should always be prepared for these things. Hadn't been that we have, like for example, in every district, we have a major health center. And in every region, we have a referral hospital. And in all the big villages, we have health centers. this would have able us to contain the COVID-19, because in some of the hospitals, it is very difficult for the sick people to go there and medical personnel to give them attention, because most of them are concentrating on COVID-19 patients, and some are at home suffering with illnesses or diseases, and they cannot be attended. So it's good for the government to prepare themselves, so that when these pandemics happen, we can easily be able to contain them without having much troubles. But yes, still, I will say a big bravo to the health personnel and all who are assisting in these trying times and moments. Honorable Speaker, I will go to youth and sports. Oh. For higher education, research, science and technology, the government coming with the initiative of transforming GTTI and MDI to degree awarding institutes is a very good initiative. To be quite honest, it will help people or students who have the ambition to study technical courses. But many at times, they will start it and will not be able to achieve a degree in the Gambia here if they don't go outside, because GTTI only offer diploma and advanced diplomas. And some of them are very good in the areas, in the technical areas that they want to study. But yet still, we have to be very prepared, because like, for example, GTTI offering technical courses. Presently, if you go to GTTI, what I'm trying to say here is that it's not organized at this present time, because if you go to GTTI at this present time, they're offering law, they're offering human resources, they are offering management courses and the like. It went to an extent that all those students who are not doing technical courses are given more priority than the ones doing technical, because they always occupy their classes. In fact, for the technical students to have class to have their classes, it's always a very difficult thing. Many students have been complaining that for years now. So coming up with this initiative, trying to make GTI totally a technical degree awarding institute will be a very good initiative. But I'm also appealing to the government too. For MDI, it's a very good institute, but they are lacking the financial muscles to do what they want to do, because the University of the Gambia is occupying 35% of the classes belonging to MDI. So MDI always have the problem to take the required number of intakes that they want to take, simply because the university is occupying the classes that belongs to them. Presently, early this year, the library of the MDI is now under the control of the University of the Gambia for law and business library. So meaning that the University of the Gambia has now seized the library of MDI using it. And they are using almost all of their facilities. Even the generator that they use when NAMEC is off, it belongs to the Management Development Institute without any compensation. I know that there is no MOU between the University of the Gambia and MDI. It was something that started years ago when Professor Ka was the Vice Chancellor of the university, and his wife was the Director General of MDI. So it was something a verbal MOU. So if they want MDI to be a degree awarding institute, so they should vacate the facilities that they are using so that MDI will have the capacity to do that. So I'm appealing to the government and the ministry to consider that. Honorable Speaker, Youth and Sports. It is mentioned in the President's address that they are working towards upgrading the Friendship Hostel to a 3-star hotel at an estimate of $35 million. This is one of the most important initiatives that the government wants to do. If you go to the Friendship Hostel, it is in a very bad condition, to be quite honest. The tourism committee went there for a visit sometime last year, and we all saw what is going on in that hostel or hotel. There is no major renovation since it was built in the 1980s. There is no major renovations. The condition is so bad. The rooms, the swimming pool, everywhere, the laundry, the kitchen. And coming up with this initiative, it will help the government. It will help the Friendship Hostel to be able to be having more customers. They have a hall there, conference room. Government can be patronizing them. The functions that they want to be doing or that they want to do, the workshops and the like, they can be patronizing the Friendship Hostel, so that the subvention that government gives them it's very low, so that it will help them to manage the hostel and the whole independent stadium. But without that, there will be a time that they will not even be able to use the facilities anymore. So with these comments, so these are the comments that I have in the SONA. So I think I'll take my seat here. Thank you, Honorable.
Thank you very much. Nominated member, Honorable Ndayasin Cheka, thank you.